Weather Rate certified 11 years in a row.
Good afternoon, Utah. I hope that you're having a wonderful Wednesday. High pressure in control, so when we take you to the storm tracker radar, all nice and calm. So if you have any evening plans tonight, going to be more or less a carbon copy of what we saw last night. Going to be great for any evening activities, even if you're going to be heading to the Jazz game. And we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But we talked about yesterday how we were going to see a little bit more cloud coverage across the Beehive State, but it was mainly going to be in the form of cirrus clouds. That's exactly what we have right now from Syracuse looking towards Antelope Island. That's an absolutely beautiful view. And depending on where you are with those cirrus clouds, you might be able to see a sundog, or even a sun halo at some point as we go into this evening, so be on the lookout for that. Meanwhile, down in southeastern Utah, down in Blanding, got some beautiful fall colors, high cirrus clouds above, calm conditions down below, and that grass is really green. That is absolutely beautiful. But for tonight, if you're going to be heading to the Jazz and Nuggets game, temperature for your drive-in will be in the upper 60s. Can't argue with that. Of course, it's going to be very comfortable inside the arena, but by the time the game is over, you might want to have a sweater as temperatures will eventually be falling into the 50s, but very comfortable to say the least. Doesn't really feel like it's basketball season, but don't worry. We got some pretty big changes on the way that we'll talk about in just a moment. But I mentioned before, tonight going to be nearly a carbon copy of what we saw last night, with most along the Wasatch Front seeing those overnight lows in the upper 40s. Logan will drop to the lower 40s. Meanwhile, Cedar City in the lower 40s as well. And then those daytime highs tomorrow, mainly going to be ranging in the 60s and 70s in northern Utah. It's outside of the higher terrain. Then down in southern Utah, daytime highs mainly ranging in the 70s and 80s once again. And it's going to be very steady more or less through Friday. But look what happens as we go from Friday, Saturday into Sunday. This is the high temperature trend in Salt Lake City. The average high this time of year, 64 degrees. So we're more than 10 degrees above our seasonal average. But by Sunday, we could be talking about daytime highs more than 10 degrees below our seasonal average, and daytime highs that are going to be more reminiscent of mid-November. Let's go ahead and walk you through the long-range futurecast and put through the motions of what's going to be happening. High pressure moving more down to the southeast over the next couple of days. A weak system kind of helping push this high pressure out of the way. So we'll see those high cirrus clouds. We might see a little bit more cloud coverage for our Friday, especially in northern Utah, with those winds beginning to increase. Then from Saturday into Sunday, an upper level low pressure moves in from the Pacific Northwest. Have a very good chance of seeing widespread wet weather across the Beehive State from the second half of Saturday into Sunday, mainly going to be in the form of valley rain and mountain snow. But with the cooler air moving in, we could potentially see snow down to the benches and maybe even a wintry mix in portions of northern Utah in our valleys. And this is going to enter a more active pattern where we could see a couple of systems move in throughout the first half of next week. So what we're tracking for you, kind of putting this all into perspective, a potent cold front likely to arrive this weekend with a big drop in temperatures between Friday and Sunday. Widespread wet weather potential with valley rain, mountain snow, with the snow possible down to the benches. Could see a wintry mix in our northern Utah valleys, but the highest accumulations when it comes to snow will mainly be above 7,000 feet. And we're going to be talking about some pretty strong winds as well, especially on Saturday. So all of that to keep in mind if you do have any of those weekend plans. In St. George, daytime highs will be in the lower 80s through our Friday, upper 70s on Saturday, and with the chance for showers on Sunday, daytime highs dial back into the mid 60s. Then along the Wasatch Front, daytime highs mid to upper 70 Thursday and Friday, overnight lows in the low 50s. But then we'll see daytime highs dial back to the upper 40s by Sunday, with a chance for that wintry mix. Then a couple of really cold nights, especially as we turn the page into early next week. Stay with us. We'll be right back after the break.